today we have another install for the 2021 Seadoo Spark Trix. We have an exciting modification and a relatively inexpensive modification. We're not installing the SC Wake C-Deck. We're not installing the Hydro Turf. No. We are installing just the plain Jane OEM Seadoo mat. Really, if you've been waiting on the Hydro Turf or the C-Deck and you want something in the meantime, this is astronomically cheaper for the interim. How it will stick in the long term, I have no idea. It's $20, guys. $20. $180, $200, however much the C-Deck and the Hydro Turf is. It's insane, right? It's worth it in the long run. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's nicer. I have no idea. This will be the first time I've installed these. This is my first Seadoo. However, it's 20 bucks. You cannot really beat it just to even test it out. So if you're waiting on some and it's gonna be months out, go ahead and pick yourself up some of these. Super easy install. I'm gonna run you through the materials and tools that you will need for the install. Most importantly, number one is your girlfriend's hair dryer. So if you don't have a girlfriend, any old hair dryer will do, but this is going to help you make sure that the mats themselves adhere at the time of application. So not only are you gonna be using this to heat up the floorboards, but you're also gonna be using it to heat up the mats where the sticky side is. Number two, you're gonna need some alcohol, some isopropyl alcohol. This is 70%, should be fine. It's gonna help you make sure that the grease and gunk is cleaned off of the floorboards before you go down. You wanna make sure that the surface is nice and prepped so that you can stick these down. And then a microfiber cloth to wipe it with, so you're gonna use that obviously with the alcohol. Lastly, you're gonna have a T30 star bit. So you can see here, let me see if you can see, it's hard to, whoop, whoop. This is gonna be necessary if you have the Spark Trix, which I have here, or if you have just installed the step wedges yourself, you are going to need this to get the step wedges off. I've actually already taken this one off just to make sure that we didn't run into any trouble. The other side I will show you how to do. If you just buy these off Amazon, which is where I got them, they're gonna come built for the base model Spark. So the base model Spark, it runs all the way down and it runs up under here, and then there's the back pieces, and all of that sits up under this step wedge. Or you can cut these. So I am going to first try to see how it looks and essentially poke holes through the mats. In that case, the mat comes all the way up to here, and then it'll start right here. So the pattern that is built into the footwell is already there for you, and you just follow that pattern when you lay these down. There are 3 pieces per side. 2 go in the footwell and then 2 go on the rear deck. It does come with some instructions. It says to be installed by a professional. It's basically a giant foam sticker. I think you guys will be okay without the professional installation. But number 1 piece, this goes on the back. I'll show you in a second. It's got the sticky side on the back. This is how all of them look. The pattern is kind of this diamond pattern on the first piece, and then the back piece has just a flat black pattern. I was expecting it to be a little bit softer than it is. It is actually quite firm, so it's hard to show on camera, but it is squishy, but this thing itself is pretty stiff. So you can see, I mean, it is bending here, but I was expecting it to be a lot more flimsy. So the first step, if you have the Trix, you are gonna remove your step wedges. Be careful when you're removing these screws. You don't wanna strip these out. On the inside, it's not metal threads. It is literally just going right into the plastic. The second thing to note is there is 1 screw in particular. This one is longer than the other 3. So I've taken it off on this side. As you can see, there's 1 very long screw, focus, and then the others are all shorter. So, just be careful and note that the long one is going back into this specific hole here. And then again, once you have all 4 of those removed, it literally just pops off that easy. So I have them just setting in there freely right now. They are not stuck down. Obviously this raises the step wedge, the thickness of about, a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch. You can tighten these screws down, but it's plastic. Remember, this is plastic. You're not gonna be cranking these down to flatten out something that is obstructing it. I actually don't have a knife right now, which is hilarious. So what we're gonna do is continue this video right here, right now. And And we're back. New day, obviously, new shirt, new me. Your second step after removing the step wedges is going to be decide one of two things. Do you want to cut your floor mats and make them fit outside of the step wedge, or do you want to lay them out underneath and risk the step wedge sitting up off of the hull a little bit? Based on my explanation, you can probably guess which scenario I'm gonna go with. So we're gonna start off with the rear. Again, you got the pattern there. You're just gonna kind of lay that down, put the step wedge back in place, get it to where you want it, line it up. Essentially, you're only gonna be able to see this hole and this hole, and then move this to get as much surface area covered as possible. And to give you guys a reference point, I am pulling this out to about the point of this graphic decal right here. And then essentially just follow the line on the back here to make sure that I'm on a flat surface. Right here is about the maximum I think we can get without having it peel up afterward. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Gonna go ahead and try this first one. I'm not gonna lie, that came out so much better than I was expecting. It fits perfect. Maybe I just have some steady hands, but boom, baby, look at that. So here's our cut piece. It's a little bit depressing because you're taking off this much of the pad, but this piece fits nice. It's gonna butt right up against there. I might be able to use this extra piece because there's gonna be a second extra piece, and I could kind of makeshift something up on the back here because look how that almost fits perfectly. Oh my gosh. Sometimes you have to divert from the original plan, but you might end up with the same result or better. You're gonna get this area prepped. So it's all kind of dusted off already. There's nothing major on it. I'm just going to use the isopropyl alcohol, wipe it down. I've got a microfiber. So give that a good wipe. We've already wiped it down. Just heat it up enough so you don't melt it. Same thing here. You're just gonna heat up the back side. This is gonna be the easy one because I can actually just peel this entire thing off at once and not have to walk it down like I'm gonna have to do on the longer ones. Make sure you've got your step wedge where you want it. You wanna get it as close as you can. And then we're gonna go ahead and stick this thing down. Press it down. Don't wanna press too hard. Again, dealing with plastic here. Hit it with a little more heat. Just for good measure, brother. And there you have it, one down. Look at that. Boom. So next up is gonna be the exact same thing, just with this piece here. So this piece is gonna line up where we need it. We're gonna put the step wedge back into place. In the front though, what you're really gonna look for, because you can't see that part of the pattern obviously, we're gonna go ahead and look at the front portion here. So our pattern is right there that we need to line up on. Go ahead and get it to where we want it. And what I would do is take your front piece as well and make sure that you're getting enough coverage and kind of just see where it's at. So once you got it lined up, again, we're gonna go ahead and mark it right here, give it a quick clean cut. This one's gonna be even easier. And there you have it. So here's the piece we cut off. Again, just came off the back, came out nice and clean. It just fits right up against there. There's a little curve on this edge. Other than that, pretty much just a straight line. Boom, sits like that. Got the back one. The only one to go is the front. So again, we're just gonna go ahead, skip ahead in the video. You guys don't need to watch. I'm going to wipe out the floorboards, get the plastic nice and cleaned up, get it heated up, stick them down, and I will show you what we're working with here at the end. There she is. She's there to grab her hairdryer back. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want some of me, buddy? Come here. Come here, you little cookie boy. You want the dog park?
Yep.
All right. Deuces, gooses. I will say, getting these two pieces to line up with this crease and make sure that you weren't going to hit this when you're lining it up in the front was a little difficult on this side. I think my alignment on this back piece was not completely straight because as you can see, there's a little bit more of a gap on this side. That is gonna annoy me, I'm not gonna lie. Starting from the back, that'll be nice and lined up once we get her screwed down. This part, our crease there is really good, even with our corner. This is a little bit poopy, but coming on down the line It is perfect. Overall, I am really happy with how these turned out. Better than I thought after I opened them up. When I bought them for 20 bucks and I saw that it was OEM Seadoo, I was like, well, it has to fit well. I'm sure there's nothing bad about it. But then when I ran into that little issue with the footwells, I thought, oh no, now I'm gonna have to cut these and it's probably not gonna look very good. It turned out really good though. I mean, like I said, I'm surprised. The only nitpick is this little crease in the middle. That's gonna be okay. Ooh, next up, what do we got? Exhaust, wrap, I don't know. Let's take it out of the water first. I guess that'll be my next mod. So let me know what you think about these floor mats. Do you have the SeaDeck or HydroTurf? Do you have these ones? So let me know how they compare. How was the install for how you did it? Any other tips and tricks for anybody else? Leave them down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.